Recently, I played a doubles match in which my first volley or half volley really got exposed. Shout out to Chris and Reed. Reed, congrats on winning state at a high school here in Wisconsin, and doubles, by the way. And so it really showed me I need to work on that first shot after the return or after the serve. So get ready, buckle up. I'm about to go out and do some training drills. You can follow along with me, and whether you're a singles player or a doubles player, if you love to move forwards to the net, these skills are critical to be comfortable and confident transitioning forwards. My first training drill today was just a simple warm-up volley drill. I had the PlayMate ball machine just feed back and forth, forehand and backhand. You can do this with a partner or with a coach. Just have them rally with you down the middle. You'll notice I'm pretty close to the net, about halfway between the service line and the net, and I'm receiving balls a little bit above waist height. And my focus here is on just a couple things. First of all, making sure I split step before each and every ball so I'm on my toes and ready to move. Second of all, making sure that visually I'm tracking the ball very cleanly and closely. And third of all, making sure that I'm turning my body and using my body to hit the ball instead of just using my hand or my wrist to flick or flip at the ball. So these things are just setting the stage, laying the groundwork so that as I move back and receive tougher and tougher shots, I've got a really solid foundation. My second drill in today's training session was a deep, low volley from the service line. Now things are really kind of starting to get serious here. I'm not letting the ball bounce, I'm taking it out of the air, but it's knee height or below. And so this is setting the stage for the more difficult shots back in no man's land, which if you're a serve and volley player, singles or doubles, you're going to receive a lot of balls in that area of the court. So my focus here is, again, on making sure I split step. You'll notice that I'm physically staying much more low now than I was for the easy volleys. I'm also making sure I'm tracking the ball, and now I'm really focusing on hitting the ball cleanly. When you go further and further away from the net and try to hit volleys or half volleys, just a little bit off center in the middle of the racket, if you just start hitting an inch or two away from the center, it completely changes where the ball goes. So the further away I get, the more I'm making sure visually I'm tracking and physically lining my strings up behind the incoming ball, so it's a nice clean contact with the strings every single time. My third training drill, I put myself right in the middle of no man's land, halfway between the baseline and the service line. This is where everybody says you shouldn't be, right? But if you're going to be an aggressive net player, which I like to try to be, then sooner or later, somebody's gonna hit you a shot back here because you have to transition from the baseline up inside the service line. So it's critical. Yes, in real life, in a match, I wouldn't stand here and keep taking shots down at my feet. But if you want to be comfortable with those shots at your feet from far away from the net, you have to train them sooner or later. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm asking the ball machine to hit me shots that are landing just inside my range. So I'm letting the ball bounce on purpose to practice a half volley. That means the ball is bouncing right in front of where I'm standing, and I have to play it right off of the bounce. Now you hopefully can see why I've been focusing on my feet and my eyes and the quality of contact, because the speed that the ball is coming in and the trickiness of the bounce right in front of me means that if I'm a little bit off, I shank the ball, I mishit it, and the result is obviously no good. Either an error or I just sit up an easy shot for my opponent. So focusing on my feet, staying nice and low, and tracking the ball very cleanly and precisely with my eyes and with my hand is super critical so that I can be consistent and hit a clean shot. Right now, I'm just keeping it back and forth, forehand, backhand. If you're training with a practice partner or with a coach, you can have them mix it up and make it random. In my fourth drill, I'm hitting 4 balls at a time. And now I'm starting to introduce some dynamic movement. My first 3 drills, I stayed in the same spot. And you can tell, as you've been watching, I've been building up the difficulty, building up the challenge level. And now that I've warmed up my low volleys and my half volleys, I'm gonna start dynamically moving from a step or two behind my last spot in drill number 3, and then transitioning forwards through that spot on the court. So I'm hitting 1 to 2, depending on the feed, exactly where the feed is, at least 1 half volley, sometimes 2, and then hitting 2 or maybe 3 volleys after that. So I'm finishing up somewhere around the service line and transitioning forwards. To do this effectively, I increased the feed rate from the ball machine. In other words, I had it feed to me faster, more quickly with less time in between shots. So it kind of mimicked real life a little bit more. So the combination of movement and the faster feed, and then the judgment, this is really kind of the critical part, the judgment of having to discern as the ball is traveling towards me, is this a volley or a half volley? Doing that on the fly while the ball is coming towards you 50, 60, or 70 miles an hour, however fast, is really the hardest part of this whole process. So spend some time here and make sure you don't overwhelm yourself with too much speed or too little time between shots, or if you're feeling totally whacked out and out of control and like you don't have any ability to handle what's going on, then go back to drill number 3, or just make a couple small steps and then reset, so on and so forth. Figure it out for yourself so that it's productive practice. The 5th drill I did was a little bit creative. I hit the ball machine remote in my pocket while I got ready for my serve. I went into my trophy pose, and then immediately after serving, the first ball was on top of me as I closed forwards. Another adjustment I made was I changed the ball machine to be random. I also increased the frequency, so I took away some of the time in between shots. So this very closely, in my opinion, really mimicked kind of real life match play. As soon as I was done with my serve, the return is on top of me, the balls are coming really quickly. It kind of mimicked a little bit of doubles match play, and my goal was to calmly transition forwards and handle the half volleys or low volleys or whatever came my way. And that, in a nutshell, that's what we've been building up towards. And this is how you create an effective practice plan, a training program for yourself, is start off with a very simple, easy warm-up, progressively make it a little bit tougher, a little bit tougher, a little bit tougher, and work your way up to being pretty real life and dynamic and challenging. And if anywhere along the way you kind of panic and you just can't do the drill, then go back a step and make it a little bit easier. Don't try to be a hero and just make everything impossible because you think that's good practice. It's just gonna make you be more anxious and panic more in real life when you're on the court. So this was a lot of fun to set up. Shout out to PlayMate, the iGenie ball machine, which enabled me to do this by myself. But you can copy all of these drills with a practice partner or with a coach or with a teammate, whoever. So go out there and do the work. If you love the net, whether you're a singles player or a doubles player, you have to be good at these shots. Sooner or later, you're going to have to field these types of shots. So rather than run away from them and hide them, do practice drills like these and develop them. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it gave you some good ideas for your own training, and I'll catch you in the next video. That's tough. Oh, I forgot. Oh no. Oh, it keeps coming.